Once upon a time, in a small town nestled between hills and rivers, there lived a humble stonecutter. His life was simple, almost invisible to those around him. Day after day, he chipped away at gravestones, carved small statues for the local park, or repaired broken steps and cracked walls. Few people noticed him, except for the dust on his clothes and the calluses on his hands. His life felt heavy, dull, and unfair. He often muttered to himself, "Some people are born to be rich, others to be powerful, but me? I am trapped in stone and sweat. Why can't I be someone greater? Why must my fate be this miserable?" At night, when the streets grew quiet, he would sit by the dim light of an oil lamp, staring at his tired hands. He dreamed of wealth, of power, of respect, the things that seemed forever out of reach. The first wish. One morning, while carving on a gravestone, he heard the roar of an engine. A luxurious carriage rolled by, shining in the sunlight. Inside sat a wealthy merchant, dressed in fine clothes, exuding confidence and pride. People bowed as he stepped out, eager to greet him. The stonecutter's heart burned with envy. If only I were that man. If only I had his wealth, his confidence, his status, then I would be happy. A strange thing happened. His wish came true. In an instant, he became the merchant. He had golden rings on his fingers, rich fabrics on his shoulders, and servants waiting on his every command. He no longer had to touch cold, heavy stone. His life was filled with luxury. But soon, as he stood in the town square, he noticed the mayor walking by. The crowd's attention shifted. People respected the merchant, yes, but they bowed deeper and spoke more reverently to the mayor. The stonecutter turned merchant clenched his fists. "The mayor has more than I do. He has authority. He has influence. I want to be the mayor." And once again, his wish was granted. Climbing higher. As the mayor, he commanded respect. He wore elegant suits, gave speeches from the balcony, and everyone listened to his words. But his pride didn't last long. One day, the governor of the region visited the town. The crowd's cheers were louder than anything the mayor had ever received. Journalists scrambled to take photos. Children waved flags, and everyone gazed in admiration at the governor. The mayor's face twisted with envy. "I want to be the governor. Only then will I have true power." And with that thought, he became the governor. His voice echoed across cities. His influence stretched far and wide. But again, his heart grew restless. Whenever people spoke, they mentioned the supreme leader of the land with awe and reverence. Even as governor, he still felt small. "No, it is not enough. I must become the supreme leader." And his wish was fulfilled. Beyond human power. Now he had ultimate authority. Armies obeyed him. Nations bowed to his will. He thought, "At last, I am the most powerful of all." But one afternoon, as he stood on his palace balcony, he felt the sun's burning heat. No matter how great his power, he could not control the blazing rays that scorched the earth. He whispered, "The sun is the true ruler. I must be the sun." And just like that, he became the sun. His light spread across the world. Fields bloomed under his warmth. Rivers dried beneath his fire. He believed himself to be unstoppable. Until the clouds came. They gathered thick and heavy, blocking his rays, dimming his brilliance. The stonecutter turned sun grew furious. "Then the clouds are stronger. I want to be the clouds." And so he became clouds. He floated above, mighty and vast, covering the sky, yet soon the wind rose, scattering him across the heavens, tearing him apart with ease. "Then the wind must be the greatest. I will be the wind." He became the wind, rushing across valleys, tearing at rooftops, bending trees to his will. For a moment, he rejoiced. Until he came to a mountain. No matter how fiercely he blew, the mountain did not move. It stood tall, unshaken, eternal. The stonecutter realized, "The mountain is the strongest of all. I will be the mountain." The shocking truth. And he became a mountain, vast, towering, majestic. Birds circled his peaks. Rivers flowed from his slopes. Finally, he thought, he had reached the ultimate form. Nothing could surpass him. Nothing could break him. Then he heard a sound. Tap, tap, tap. It echoed softly at first, then sharper, louder. Something was striking his body. He looked down and saw a man. A man with a hammer and chisel. A stonecutter. Piece by piece, the stonecutter chipped away at the mighty mountain. The blows seemed small, but they left marks. Slowly, bit by bit, the mountain's body was being reshaped. The great mountain trembled with shock. Impossible. How can such a small, fragile creature change me, who is so massive and eternal? But the strikes continued. Dust fell. Stones cracked. The mountain could do nothing but endure. And then realization dawned. The stonecutter gasped. The strongest of all is not the sun, nor the wind, nor the mountain itself. It is the stonecutter, the very person I once was. He saw the truth at last, with patience, persistence, and skill. The humble stonecutter had more power than wealth, authority, or even the forces of nature. Full circle. In that moment of awakening, the endless chain of wishes broke. He returned to himself, the ordinary stonecutter he had once despised. But this time, he no longer saw his life as meaningless. Each strike of his chisel, each mark on the stone, was not a burden but a triumph. He no longer wished to be anyone else. He no longer compared himself with others. He understood that envy only leads to emptiness, while true happiness comes from embracing who we are and using our gifts with pride. From that day on, the stonecutter worked with joy. His carvings grew more beautiful, his heart more peaceful. People still passed him by, often without noticing, but inside, he no longer felt small. Because he finally understood. The greatest power lies not in becoming someone else, but in being yourself.